Hey guys, hope you're all having an awesome day. So we're going to do a quick check-in, quick reading. So holy shit, a lot of us right now are going back and doing past clearing and reviewing. So for some people, you might be at the end of a cycle, or you might be kind of mid-cycle. It doesn't even matter, whatever. It is what it is, right? But what's coming up is stuff from old energy. So like the last, I'd say for most people, it's like 2017, 2018 till present time. So I know for me, earlier I was in like 2018, now I'm in kind of like 2020, 2021, like a little bit of a mix. So you might be in like different energies like that. And basically what's happening is certain things are coming up where you're feeling like the old version of yourself, or certain things are coming up that are mirroring things that happened back in that time to trigger you. So it's okay to get triggered. It is what it is. But don't go along with it. Like, you can process what you want, but also acknowledge that the past is the past and is not repeating itself. You are a different person, so handle your shit different. Like, handle your fears different, handle the way you are different. A lot of people, it's kind of bringing up some of those like deeper abandonment wounds and those deeper like feelings and emotions. So you might feel like you want to run away or just give up and say fuck it to everything. If you're not in this energy right now, like, awesome. If you are in this energy, you are not alone. Like, just work through it. Okay? Don't run away just because you're scared or it feels like the past. Like, don't do that. Like, you already know what you've learned. So basically, wherever you are, you're in. For the people who are mid-ending of cycles, you're kind of reviewing the past, but clearing it and kind of shifting the energy from it. So basically what's going on is, as you're reacting different present energy, you're clearing like the energetic cord to the past, where all these emotions and fears and all these things were. And a lot of you, it was like codependency issues or trauma responses or defense mechanisms and things like that. So it definitely has a lot to do with your interpersonal relationships, but also your relationship with yourself too. So self-esteem issues might be coming up, areas where you're conditioned to have like shame or to try to stay away from certain people, certain things that maybe you're conditioned to think were problematic. Shit like that is kind of coming up. So it's old relationships, old emotions and feelings, conditioning, trauma responses, like all that is coming up. It's coming up, like I said, to clear. And it's also coming up for your awareness too, for you to see how different you are and how like far you've grown and how much you've overcome. So that's why I'm saying, like, don't go backwards to the past. Like, and if you do slip up and you go backwards a little, that's okay. Like, acknowledge it and recognize it. Don't guilt yourself. Don't shame yourself. Like, recognize that you're improving, because in the past, you probably wouldn't have recognized it and would have kept on doing it. Now you're actually recognizing it and you're like, okay, I can make a change and do it different. So the past definitely is coming back up. Tons of energy symptoms, physical ascension symptoms, like you name it. I will say this: if you are feeling physical energy and or if you're feeling the physical energy, you're supposed to be feeling it. You're clearing and you're getting like upgrades. Some people, spirits also saying, are getting like intuition upgrades and gift upgrades at this time. Also clearing trauma out of the body, which is very uncomfortable and does not feel good as you're going through it. For the people who have the medical fears that come up, you are transmuters, okay? So if you're having medical fears, it's a regularly reoccurring thing that's happened, and it's not your own shit. And you're having the like physical energy with the fear energy coming in, like it's coming externally, not from inside. So what I mean is, if you have a fear of something that's actually yours, that you can feel it is like inside, versus you get hit with energy and external fears where it's like, you're like, I don't normally feel like this. Why am I feeling like this? You're transmuters for the collective or your subgroup of people. That's why you're doing that. So breathe into it, like feel into your intuition. Does anything actually feel wrong? Usually close your eyes and breathe into it. See if anything feels wrong. If it doesn't, breathe it out and just let it be, and just try to like go on and like live your life. Like, try not to let the energy affect you and debilitate you, because sometimes it can be really strong and heavy where it's like, how the fuck do I get through this? So it's just breathing through it. But if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling weak, if you're feeling unmotivated, you're supposed to be feeling that, which means you're supposed to be resting, because the period of time you're in right now is probably a resting period to help your body energetically release and prepare for the future stuff. So allow it to happen. And if you guys notice, I was like MIA, like on and off the last few months, because I've been going through so many energetic purges that I have not had the energy to answer people for like months, like where I'm like, I'll have a little bit of energy and I'll answer you, and then like I have no energy and then I don't answer anybody. So I'm finally coming back a little bit into my normal stuff where I can actually communicate with people and answer people. I have a little bit more energy to do stuff, which is fucking nice. I definitely don't still feel like 2022 Brittany, but I definitely feel like more of my personality and the stuff that has been gone is kind of back. So we're kind of going in and out of energies, though. We're going in and out of shifting and stuff. So if you're not feeling like yourself also, you're not supposed to be. Like, you're probably clearing something or you're recognizing something. Everything's really just an opportunity for clearing and recognition. So I'm going to just pull a few cards. We're going to make this short. I'm going to just pull a few cards and see. And I'm going to try to do a live this week. So with the live, I will pull a few cards, but more so I want to do like a self-help one. So if you have questions about like relationships, you have questions about spiritual stuff, things like that, send me a message. Try to do it on Instagram, Gaia Spiritual Healing, because that's where I mostly answer people. I don't really like using my Facebook except for the crystal page, because just the way the messages come through, it's, I don't know, like they irritate me. So yeah, just if you message me on Facebook, I'll go on there and read them too. But if you have any specific questions when I do the live, obviously I'm not going to say who it is or, you know, your specific question. I'll say it in a general way. But like anything you need, life advice, self-help stuff, anything like that, I'm just not doing personal like oracle readings, like questions like that. So, or you can always comment like on the video below too if you want, and like whatever your question is. So, okay. We got sacral chakra and disruption. It feels like with the sacral chakra, it feels like this empowerment or this lack of empowerment energy, where it feels like an inner child's wound is kind of coming up to trigger areas where you felt helpless and hopeless, areas where you felt very disempowered, where you weren't standing in your power, where you were kind of what I said before, like in a trauma response. And with the disruption card, it feels like being pulled in like different directions. It feels like feeling very stuck and very confused. It feels like a lot of people are very like stuck and confused right now. I was feeling like the collective energy last night, and holy shit, was it like fear and anxiety like a motherfucker, like to the point where I actually couldn't even get to sleep until I think it was like 5 a.m, because I was getting hit with so much energy, and then I was getting hit with all these like safety fears, like from being like robbed at gunpoint, from like my house being broken into, shit like that. So like all that kind of came up like last night right before I was about to go to sleep, and I was like, what the fuck is this? So we're clearing a lot of the old, so the past is like coming up. What I always recommend is like trying to feel into your intuition when you're going through that. But I also asked my spirit team, like, hey, can you guys like help this like clear for a minute and just like let me feel like that there's nothing actually wrong and this is just a fear or whatever. And they did that for me for like a minute, and then it went back. So I was like, okay, this is just old energy clearing. So you can always ask them. But what Spirit's saying is like, this is like really a time for you to learn how to stand in your power and like choose yourself and move forward from the past. Like even if things, I think it's a butterfly, even if things aren't changing in your physical reality, you're supposed to be internally changing. That might be why. So it doesn't matter like what you've been shown. It doesn't matter what's coming for you. It matters like the present moment now, and like you handling the now and focusing on that. So what do I need to do for me now, and not focus so much on the future and like the things that you want, and focus on what you have and feel gratitude for it. But not even just that, it's also acceptance for where you're at and surrendering to timing and how things are going to happen and when they're going to happen. Because even though we feel like it's going to happen soon and we want it to happen soon, when we kind of sit in that, we're really just ignoring the lesson we're in. We're really ignoring kind of our own stuff that's going on right now. And a lot of times it's because it's uncomfortable, because we're in a space where we're not exactly where we want to be, or we're not getting the things we actually want. But if you look, you have a lot of things that you've asked for already from the past. And so it's also like appreciating those things. A lot of times we'll focus on, we won't feel like this if we have this, or this won't be such a struggle if we have this. But the reason why is because you have to work through it now in order for that to come for you. So, you know, like relationships, a lot of times people are like, well, I wouldn't feel so alone. I wouldn't feel so anxious. I wouldn't feel all these things if this would happen. But those things are happening because there's something you need to heal. There's something you need to change. There's a perspective shift. There's something you need to be aware of. And having that relationship or the person show up different isn't going to change that in you. It just kind of blocks it. It almost like masks it. It like band-aids it, because then that actual issue will start coming out in your relationship. And that goes for anything, not just relationships. That goes for literally anything. So for anybody who's waiting for something to manifest or happen for you, if it's not here, it's not ready to be here. It will be here when you're ready for it. I talk about this a lot, but you will sabotage it or subconsciously push it away and not even know you're doing it if it comes before you want it to. And I will actually tell you that, I'm a very self-aware person. Obviously, like, I spiritually channel and stuff whenever they give me messages, but yeah, they just showed me like a few days ago of me doing the same thing, actually subconsciously, like pushing shit away and sabotaging it. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that's what I was doing in that moment. And I had no like conscious awareness to what I was doing. So when you have the awareness to it, make sure you're making different choices, especially not running away in fear. But like, you will actually sabotage it because you don't realize. And sometimes we look at other people or like other situations where it's very obvious sabotaging. But sometimes like that's mirroring to us where we do the same shit. It's just maybe a little bit more hidden or not as obvious. So, oh, I love this because I just opened the cards and we got the Warrior, which is kind of about balance, which we've been getting a lot of balance stuff lately, but it's also like going against healing societal and family conditioning, going against the norm, being an advocate. But for me, like, especially today, what I'm getting for this card is like fighting for what you want and working toward it and balancing, because you might not see what's ahead of you. You probably don't, because a lot of us focus on past trauma subconsciously. We don't even know we do it. But balance is coming. It's going to be restored. It sometimes takes a lot longer than you want it to. So that's where it's like good to accept and surrender. Because if you're not, then you're resisting. And when you're resisting, it's just more uncomfortable and you're creating like more like, energetic like dysfunction in your body. So, but it feels like a lot of you guys are being asked by spirit to take like a blind like leap of faith, like definitely like a new beginning for a lot of you. And it's coming kind of like out of nowhere and kind of like blind, where you're not going to even know like that it's coming to you or where it's coming from. With the transformation card, definitely for especially the people who are at the end of cycles, like there's probably, I would say, a lot of fears coming up, and we got the fear card and we have empathy underneath it. But there's probably like a lot of fears and stuff coming up because you're kind of in this phase where you're about to be a butterfly. You're about to like be at the end of this cycle and you just can't see what's in front of you. So all your fears are coming up and all of that shit's coming up to release it, for you to stand in your power, for you to shift energetically so you can get into alignment with what you want. So you have the tools to be able to actually work through all of the triggers, traumas, fears, all that shit. You'll have the tools, you'll have the energy, you'll have the awareness to it. So for some of you who are beginning of mid-cycles, it's a little bit of a different message, but I'm not getting anything for you right now. So we got Earth Angel, spiritual direction and connection. I love this because they're all like super spiritual cards. For some of you guys, you're definitely opening up to spiritual gifts, or you're meeting an Earth Angel, or somebody like myself. I am an Earth Angel too, where you're getting spiritual messages that are going to help guide you. Obviously, if you need, you can book a reading if you need like a private message or something like that. But it feels like for the people who are stuck, like you're going to be getting a message soon, or something like that is going to happen where it's going to help you move in the right direction. So you're not feeling so stuck. Like Spirit's going to somehow get a message to you guys to help you move in the right direction. And you might be seeing like feathers, especially if that message is for you. You might be getting random feathers. I'd actually posted it. Was it last week? Or I can't keep track of time lately, like a week or two ago. And I walked out of my, to my car, and there was just like a white feather literally just sitting right on the window of my driver's side door. Like I went to go unlock the door and I was like, the fuck? Yeah. So, I mean, I've had it fall on my house. Like there's no birds in my house. Like there's nothing like that. Oh, fucking white feather or whatever color feather would fall. And one time that happened, it was just right in front of my face. So yeah. With this connection, it feels like this collective shift, like there's a huge collective shift right now. So some of you guys might be being pulled into this energy right now. If you're being pulled into it, you're supposed to be being pulled to work through it. But it definitely feels like connections are coming in like new, and I just read the card and like immediately the words that pop out are soulmates are coming in. Soulmates come in all different forms. Soulmates sometimes come as friendships temporarily, to help you grow and move you in the right direction and teach you until you're done. It's like the teacher becomes a student, the student becomes a teacher, like that type of situation. Some of you definitely feels like a parting of relationships, definitely a lot of changes in relationships, but a parting of relationships because you've learned what you needed to learn, or you're at a phase where you need to separate in order for you to heal and grow and learn your own lessons, and then you'll come back together at the right time. So it's going to be different for everybody. The only thing I'm going to say to that is make sure you're not holding on to unhealthy relationships or relationships where people aren't showing up for you or aren't treating you the way you actually deserve, and make sure no matter what's going on, you stand in your power, and Spirit saying the word courage. So anyway, I hope that this reading helps, and wishing you guys so much love and light, and I hope you have an awesome day.